Hello everyone. In this short, crisp and comprehensive lecture, we will understand the constitutional provision of Office of Prime Minister, and we also see the list of Prime Minister who served as Indian Prime Ministers. So the constitutional provisions for the Office of Prime Minister is mentioned in Part 5 of the Indian Constitution. Part 5 of the Indian Constitution deals with the Union, about the union's legislature, executive, judiciary, and comptroller and auditor general, and president's powers to promulgate ordinances. So all these things dealt in the part 5 of the Indian Constitution, and the Prime Minister comes under the chapter of executive. From the article 52 to article 78 deals with the chapter of executive, and Indian executive consists of president, vice president, prime minister, council of ministers, and attorney general of India So if you see the constitutional provisions of prime minister, this was mentioned in article 74 and article 75 and article 78. So let's discuss about all these articles. Firstly, article 74. Article 74 says council of ministers to aid and advise president of India. Council of Ministers to aid and advise President of India. So this is about Article 74. And if you see the detail of this article says the Council of Ministers, there shall be Council of Ministers with the Prime Minister at the head to aid and advise President of India. So this article indirectly says that President of India is a nominal head of the India, and the real head is Prime Minister. So Prime Minister along with the Council of Minister to aid and advise, and this President of India in the exercise of his function has to perform his functions based on the advice given by the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. So long story short, this article 74 says the president is bound by the advice of Council of Minister. So this was added via 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976, and after then Janata Party came to power through the 44th Constitutional Amendment Act 1978. This provision has relaxed a bit. The President of India can reconsider such advice for one time, and if the Council of Ministers sends the same advice again, then President of India must act in accordance with such advice. So this is about Article 74. Let's revise this article again because this is important article. There shall be Council of Ministers with the Prime Minister at the head to aid and advise the President of India, and this President of India has to act with the advice given by the Council of Ministers. So the advice is binding on the President of India. This was added via 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976. However, later on Janata Party came to power, and they added one more provision to the sentences to this provision by saying the President of India can send back the advice given by the Council of Ministers for the consideration, and if Council of Ministers sends the same advice again, then the President of India must act accordance with such advice. So this was added via 44th Constitutional Amendment Act 1978. So whatever the advice tendered by the Council of Ministers to the President of India, this cannot be inquired in any court of law. So the advice tendered has the judicial immunity. So whatever the advice sent by the Council of Ministers is having the judicial immunity. And this is about Article 74. And now let's discuss about the Article 75. Article 75 talks about Prime Minister is appointed by the President of India. So it means what? Prime Minister appoints the leader of majority party in the Lok Sabha. And Prime Minister generally do not have any specific tenure. He does not have any specific tenure, and his tenure happens during pressure of President. But that doesn't mean President can remove Prime Minister at any time. As long as he enjoys the majority in the Lok Sabha, he served as Prime Minister of India. So Prime Minister is appointed by the President of India, and other ministers is also appointed by the President of India, but only on the advice of Prime Minister of India. So let's revise this article again. Prime Minister appointed by President of India, and other ministers means Council of Ministers is also appointed by President of India, but only on the advice of Prime Minister. So Prime Minister decides who is going to become the ministers in his team. So once PM resigns, all the Council of Ministers automatically stands removed. Means basically they also resigns from the office once PM resigns. So basically it means what? They swim together and they sink together. So this is about Article 75. And Article 75 also talks about any member can become minister, but within 6 months, he or she has to become the member of either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Otherwise, his ministership will be seized out. So this is about Article 75. And one more article important for the Prime Minister. Article 78. Article 78 talks about duties of Prime Minister. For furnishing information to President of India about the administrative activities and also future legislative plans. So if President seeks any such kind of information from the Prime Minister has to has to provide that information mandatorily. This was the constitutional provision. So Article 74, Article 75, Article 78, these three provisions were important for the office of Prime Minister of India. So currently the Prime Minister of India is the 15th Prime Minister of India, and his name is Narendra Modi. So let's see the list of Prime Ministers from 1947 to 2025. So first Indian Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, first PM of India Jawaharlal Nehru, served as PM from 15th August 1947 to 27th May 1964. So because of his death, the acting PM basically referred to as interim PM appointed, and his name is Gulzarilal Nanda. He is the second Prime Minister of India. So he is basically interim PM for the duration of 27th May 1964 to 9th June 1964. Around 2 weeks he served as the Prime Minister. And the third Prime Minister, so in the first term of Jawaharlal Nehru, Indo-China War has happened. And the third Prime Minister, and his name is Lal Bahadur Shastri, and he has given the famous slogan Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, and he served as Prime Minister from 1964 to 1966, and he was died in the office on 11th January in the Tashkent, Uzbekistan. And during his tenure, Indo-Pak War has happened in the year 1965. And fourth Prime Minister of India, and her name is Indira Gandhi. Indira Gandhi. She is the first woman Prime Minister. First woman Prime Minister, and she served the office from 1966 to 1977. So from 1975 to 77, this period is referred to as emergency period. And after then Janata Party came to power. She lost the elections, and she again won the election in the year 1980, and she was died in office itself in the year 1984. So she served for 3 terms: 1966, 67, 66, 71, and 1980 3 terms. 66 to 77 and 1980 to 1984. During her term, Indo-Pak War has happened, 1971 war, bank nationalization has happened in 1969, emergency as imposed on 25th June 1975. So fourth Prime Minister of India, Indira Gandhi, first woman Prime Minister. And next PM, Morarji Desai, 1977 to 1979. So first non-Congress PM. And next Prime Minister, Charan Singh, served as Indian Prime Minister from 1979 to 1980. So champion of farmers friendly policies has been initiated by Charan Singh. And the next Prime Minister of India, Rajiv Gandhi. After the assassination of Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi became the Prime Minister, served as Prime Minister for the 5-year term from 1984 to 1989. So he was the youngest Prime Minister of India, and he introduced IT and telecom revolution. On Sri Perumbandur, he was assassinated by LTTE members. So after Rajiv Gandhi, in the year 1991, in the 1989, he lost the elections. So after then, VP Singh became the Prime Minister from 1989 to 1990, and Chandrasekhar became the Prime Minister from 1990 to 1991. And in the year 1991, Rajiv Gandhi assassination has happened. So because of that, P.V. Narasimha Rao became the Prime Minister from the INC. So he was father of economic reforms, liberalization policies, LPG reforms introduced in the year 1991 because of the efforts of both Manmohan Singh, then Finance Minister, and P.V. Narasimha Rao, then Prime Minister, served as Prime Minister from 1991 to 1996. After then, Atal Bihari Vajpayee in the year 1996, and he also served as Prime Minister from 1998 to 2004. So 96 to 97, H.D. Devagowda served as Indian Prime Minister. And after then, I.K. Gujral introduced Gujral Doctrine in foreign policy, relevant till today. So from 1997 to 98, so 98 to 2004, Atal Bihari Vajpayee. And the next Prime Minister, Dr. Manmohan Singh, from 2004 to 2014. He served for 2 terms. So Indo-US nuclear deal successfully, and the economic stability during global recession has happened in 2008. So, and the 15th Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, from 2014 to present. So upon his tenure, Digital India, GST, demonetization, and Article 370 removal, these key events has happened during Narendra Modi's tenure. So this is about a list of all Prime Minister of India from 1947 to 1947 to 2025. In the comment section below, you have to mention which Prime Minister served the longest tenure, and you also have to mention which Prime Minister served the shortest tenure in the comment section below. That's it for the session. Thank you so much for watching. Jai Hind.